Right, it's Vern's allotment, but instead of being at the allotment, I'm at my house, where I live, obviously, because that's why it's my house. This is my fruit bed. I've got raspberries and I've got blueberries, blueberries. All my blueberries are in pots. I've got brown leaves on them because I put a lot of pine needles on the top for an acid feed, because they like an acid environment. Only I put too many on, so it scorched the leaves, which isn't too bad because it looks like the plant hasn't died. Whereas previously, when I first started off with blueberries, just doing a bit of weeding in my lemon tree, I watered it with tap water, and unlike giving it too much of an acid environment, if you water it with tap water, there's no coming back for blueberry. It just dies, because they do not like limestone or lime water or anything like that, of which tap water is. So I nearly had another disaster by losing them all again, but luckily blueberries. Luckily it hasn't killed the plant out totally, as it does with tap water. Got raspberries here, you have to excuse the weeds, and fig tree in a pot. But what I'm actually showing you is my peppers. This is a greenhouse. I built this greenhouse. It's only made out of wood, corrugated plastic on the roof, but I've still got plastic underneath because it was all made with a wood frame just covered in plastic, of which the front still is. And it's been, what, 3, 4, possibly 5 years it's been built now. It used to be in my back garden, but I've now moved it on the side of the house because this, come 12 o'clock, is in full sun, so it's better during the day, whereas in the back garden it's in shade for quite a bit of the day. Gets in morning sun, but then that's it. Don't get any more sun after that. So peppers, I've got plenty of peppers on here, more peppers there, and more peppers. Not bad for a wooden built greenhouse that I built myself. Peppers on there. More peppers. Bit of scale there. That's just a leaf. Yeah. So what I've done is I've took off the bottom leaves on all the stems, and I've thinned out the top growth, the shoots. I've took some of the shoots out so it stops growing, to put more energy into turning these into having them turning colour to ripen. They're an orange pepper. I bought these again from the Rell Seed Company. I've still got flowers coming, and I've got some flowers coming over here. And yeah, I bought these from the Rell Seed Company. Because most of the seeds that they do grow will actually mature in our climate, because they're based in Wales. They grow stuff that will actually mature in Wales, so you've got a better chance of it maturing here. Basically all I'm doing is I am snapping off these leaves. I haven't read anywhere that you're supposed to do this. It's just that you do it on tomato plants, get more light in. Them leaves aren't doing anything really. Just to give more energy to the plant and its fruits. Got a flower on that one, I'll let that come. I might get a light pepper. Now these will normally be right out here until till October generally, and it starts getting a little bit too cold. Pepper on there, look. Right, and that's all I do. Well, that's all I'm doing this year. Now I've still got lots of peppers to come, little ones. But I've got a lot of peppers that are quite a good size. It should turn orange. But I've had to tie the plants up so they don't move about. And basically my peppers, I just plant my peppers. I don't nip anything out. They just grow straight up and then they fork and fork and fork until you get a top heavy bush. I cane it, tie it with string, and that's it really. Don't mess about, just let them grow. Nip the leaves off now, just to give them a chance to ripen. Still got flowers which are turning to peppers, still coming. So I should, hopefully, start. Flowers all on there. As for the compost, in here, this one hasn't come. There's peace ginger here, look. Cover that back up. That's ginger. This is ginger and this is ginger. So I've got 3 pots of ginger. 2 have come, 1 hasn't yet. But down at the allotment, as you've probably seen, I've also got ginger planted it straight into the ground. I don't think I'll get anything this year at all, but next year this will die off come winter, I believe, and then next year that should then come and that should start growing in the pot, and I should get copious amounts of ginger. I can just dig the soil out of here, snap a bit of ginger off, and I've got fresh ginger, hopefully. Here's the peppers. Right, back to there. I've nipped all them, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to start moving these peppers about. I'm going to move these greenhouse heaters out of the way, stand them over here, and then I'm going to start jiffling all these peppers about and the ginger so that I can get more light around the plants, just to speed up the ripening. Got plenty of peppers if I want to eat green peppers, but I don't. I want ripe peppers. And that's about it in my greenhouse. The floor, I just removed the turf, covered it with black plastic, and put some slate over the top, and I just grow in pots. These pots might look familiar to some, but they're flower pots from Morrison's. You can generally pick these up. They normally batch them up 10 pots, and they charge about, sellotape them together, and then they charge about 99p for 10 pots. If there ain't any pots, you can just ask them and they'll tell you when they'll have some pots, but that's all they are. I knocked a hole in the bottom, filled it with compost, grow my peppers in. This compost next year goes into a compost bin outside. I chuck some Grow More in that compost to enrichen it, leave it over winter, and next year I take the compost out of that compost bin, and that's where I get my compost from. So I reuse my compost. That'll be the first year I've done that, because normally it just goes straight down in bags to the allotment and chucked on in the allotment. And that's it really. In the compost, as you can see, there's lots of white bits which crushed to a dust. That's perlite. So this is a mixture of, as you can see, Sinclair's compost, which is now owned by Westlands, because Sinclair's having a bit of trouble because they don't listen to the staff. But this and that's compost. Again, Sinclair's compost, and I've mixed in there perlite. If I don't mix perlite in there, these just tend to dry out too quick. The perlite will actually retain moisture within its structure, and the roots, whatever roots go near that perlite, obviously not the stuff on top, but the roots that are perlite is in down the bottom, roots touch onto the perlite, and if it's getting a bit dry, obviously there's water within the perlite, and water for your plant. I've grown peppers without perlite, and I don't get half as good a result as what I do with perlite. Same with tomatoes in a hanging basket, absolute dire. As soon as you add perlite, they just keep going a lot longer. Look at that, beautiful pepper there. So I always mix perlite in while I got it. I used to manufacture perlite myself. There isn't a lot I don't know about perlite and vermiculite. I was one of the main people that worked at one of the main manufacturing sites for perlite and vermiculite. I've got it dug into my allotment, and I've got bags of it still to use. But it never goes away. Perlite doesn't degrade unless you squeeze it, and you ain't going to do that. So it's always there. So it's not something that you really want to chuck and get rid of. You want to reuse it. So like I say, what I do is I take my perlite now over to this compost bin I've got over here. I compost everything down the allotment now, but now this is just storage vessel. And as you'll see, just compost in there. It's all old compost, and I tip a few buckets from them plants and peppers in there. I chuck it in here, and then I'll chuck a handful of Grow More, which is a slow release compost fertiliser. Chuck that in, and it'll just revitalise it. So it's got feed within the compost, and next year I shall reuse that, and once I've reused that to pot my plants up, I shall tip the old lot back in. And that's about it. So I'm signing off now. Bye.